once again, it is I, Nukaclipse. Today's video is brought to you by the 90s. We miss you so damn much. But anyway, welcome to my very first L.A.G review. Now, what does that mean? L.A.G stands for Late Ass Gaming, or Lag for short. Lag reviews are for anything from modern games to retro games. Basically, it's any game I happen to miss on its initial release, which is pretty much everything where I live. Now, with that said, it's time to begin our review, but not here. What we need to do here is go back, way back into time.
Oh, hey, it's me, Bob. Probably heard me on the videos from time to time. Don't know if you know this, but I hate my job. Alright, speaking of, there, enjoy the video. I know I won't.
Welcome to my... Wait, what? I'm in the TV? No! Why am I inside of it? Damn it! Miscalculated that teleport. Alright, let's try this again. And... there we go. Whew. That was kind of scary. Last thing I need is to be stuck in a 90s CRT monitor. Alright, so welcome to my 90s bedroom, where gaming conception began. Today we'll be reviewing a classic favorite of mine, X-Men 2 Clone Wars for the Sega Genesis. So just to give you a little basis on what the game is about, it's a platformer that has you playing as various X-Men characters. Wolverine, Beast, Psylocke, Nightcrawler, my personal favorite to use, Gambit, and even the coolest X-Men character ever, Magneto. He's so cool. Oh, and Cyclops in it too, I guess, whatever. Now, the story is centered around the Phalanx, an alien hive mind-like race that assimilates other beings to be a part of itself. Those of you who grew up during the awesome 90s X-Men cartoon, or know of the comics, might remember who they are. You'll travel to various locations, from a snowy, hidden Sentinel base to the savage lands and Avalon, home of the mighty Magneto. Well, now that you got the gist of the game, let's jump into the review, shall we? Quick disclaimer. Before I begin, let me explain how, here at Nukaclipse, how I do reviews. I call it the hypes versus gripes system. Instead of doing a flat score, I judge games based on how enjoyable something is and, or aggravating it may be. As I always tell people, these videos are always opinions. Some people talk like it's facts and tell you to buy or not buy. I won't do that. It's your money, your choice. Do as you will. You don't need me to tell you to buy something. I'm not trying to be an influencer, unless someone wants to pay me to be one. But enough of that. Let's get into the review portion. Alright, let's begin with the hypes. While I wasn't a big fan of all the characters of the game, I really liked how each character had their own thing. Some characters are more useful than others in certain situations. You got characters that can scale walls like Wolverine and Nightcrawler, while others can just latch onto them. Then you got people that can charge, aim attacks like Gambit and Cyclops, and some just pound the crap out of the ground like Beast does. Then you got Psylocke, whose powers are only good for fleshy things, and Magneto, who's absolutely broken in some boss fights because he floats around and the boss doesn't know how to counter it. It really depends on playstyle which characters work for you. For me, it was Nightcrawler, as his teleport created a lot of opportunities to either avoid or set up attacks, and it's really fun to use. Moving on to the next hype, the music. The game's music is honestly one of my favorite tracks from the Genesis era. They cue intense moments pretty well, while some of the less intense tracks fit pretty well in their levels. And that intro theme is fire. Raise it up, minions.
From the boss. Unless I suffer, so...
Nah, whatever. What do you know about dancing anyway?
No, it don't look like that.
What?
Oh, I said dancing looks just like that, right? Yep, that's what I said.
As I was saying, music from this generation resonates with me much more than I imagine others might feel about it. So if you don't agree that that's your prerogative, you're heathen regardless. Moving on to the next hype. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's literally it. Like music, characters, but I think it's time to get into the gripes. This game is maddeningly frustrating to play. Here's why. Gripe number 1. The enemies. Now I know games where you make physical contact that's not an attack and makes you take damage were practically a standard before 95 when this game came out. But my god, is it terrible in this game. Now I'm not sure if hitboxes were a thing back then, but if it was, then the enemies have a hitbox of a peanut while you have the hitbox of a damn truck. I often found myself throwing air punches the closer I was to an enemy. Sometimes even phasing through the enemy while I get hit by them because apparently they're wearing spiked armor. As you get further into the game, the enemies become even more difficult, needing several hits before they go down. Unless you're playing beasts who can take them out at one. But for other characters, you have to have that yellow bar of health to put you in your maximum damage zone, which in this game is easier said than done. The next gripe, level design. Now, I got a love-hate relationship with the level design. I appreciate its difficulty spikes and quick thinking. The Savage Lands was probably the best at that for me, as it intentionally blocks your view for an ambush, and having a lot of offensive flora made it hard to tell what was a threat and what wasn't. However, everything after the Savage Lands is just evil. Not even the fun evil. This level here tends to be my rage quit or game over level. Enemies here are harder to kill and are all over the damn place, making it difficult to get to the top. On top of that, there's a steady rising toxic water that slowly saps your health if you hang out in it too long. And because of the area having drops that put you back to square one, on top of ridiculous enemy placement that easily messes up your timing, it's the most shit level in the game. And there's 2 of them back to back. Now I've gotten past it, but it doesn't make it any more enjoyable playing through it. The final gripe is lives and continue. Now let's be real, fellow retro gamers. While we might have fond memories of this era of gaming, how many of you honestly miss lives and continue? Safe to say not many of you feel that way. I sure as hell don't miss them. I'll take losing 100,000 souls of Dark Souls and deal with lives and continues again. However, this game was from that era of video games. What it ultimately lacks is a method of gaining more lives and has no way of getting continues. I could be wrong about the lives. There are certain DNA strands throughout the levels that sparkle that may give you an extra life. Typically, you start off with about 7 or 8 lives for the whole game, and you can easily lose it all in 1 or 2 levels. And then guess what? You get to start from the very beginning of the game again. And you get to do it over and over and over again to either burn your cartridge in a blazing inferno, or you get lucky and you manage to beat it. And of course, because I suck at platformers, I'll be the foamer in that scenario. Alright, so that's the hypes and the gripes. Now look, I don't want to discourage anyone from playing it, or for those of you that have played it from thinking that I don't like this game. Quite the contrary, I actually do like it. I'm personally ass at platformers, so I'm more easily frustrated with them. But X-Men 2 Clone Wars wasn't very good at the platformer. It has interesting mechanics, but it's really marred by the gripes I mentioned. To be fair, a lot of games of this era had unfair to gamer gameplay, but for the ones that really stood out, they did it differently enough that the difficulty was there, but the mechanics made it possible for you to win with some effort. I feel like this game is just lacking in that aspect, and is intentionally difficult to give you the feeling of a challenge, but it's just more aggravating than a fun challenge for my taste. Well, that's the end of the review. Much as I didn't like having to gripe on the game so hard, it also was kind of nice letting that out after so many years of following it up. Maybe someday I'll get back to it. Finally beat it.
Wait. You did a whole review for a game that you haven't beat yet? Dude, it's almost 30 years old.
Look at the time. Gotta
go. Well, guess he's not as all-powerful after all. He has a weakness. He sucks at video games. Can't even beat a game he's reviewing. Oh, hey, you're still there, huh? Okay, so, how does he do it? This, right? There he goes. Till next time, nerds! Wee.